not to use no more with your host, Dr. and Evangelist K.O. Rich, helping you to admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse. How y'all doing today on this lovely Saturday morning? Yes, it is Saturday morning. I very seldom come to you on a Saturday morning, but I'm doing it today. I pray that you all have had a blessed, stress-free, narcissistic-free, abuse-free week so far, and that the remainder of this week, the remainder of the month, the remainder of the year and years to come will be narcissistic free for you. I'm glad that you have joined me today. I'm your host, Dr. and Evangelist K.O. Rich, and we here at Narcissistic Abuse have been bringing you podcast to help you admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter. We have been doing this podcast. I believe it's been 7 years now. 7 years, yes, it has been 7 years, and you all have been a wonderful audience. I have gotten a chance to have some of you that have written to me and told me that this podcast has been a blessing to you. Situations that you have had dealing with abusive situations. Some of you have told me your stories that you have left the abusers that you may have been involved with. You have grown. You have just learned a lot. And this podcast has been instrumental to you. And I want to just thank you all for those stories, because on this platform, we have really tried to help you to grow as a person, help you to know your worth, help you to know you are even in Christ, for those who are believers in Christ. And so one thing that we know is that God didn't create us to be abused. And many of you did not know who you were, and you started listening to this podcast, and it has emboldened you to be able to stand for yourself, to know who you are, to know that you are of value, to know, as the psalmist said, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And you have to know that full well, because if you don't know that, then no one else will, as far as those who want to mistreat you. And so I'm glad that this podcast has been an inspiration to you and being able to help you on your road to recovery. We've talked about so many issues with regards to narcissism, physical abuse, verbal abuse, spiritual abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse. We've talked about just relationships, and we've talked about forgiveness, because without forgiveness, it's hard to even move forward in your life. It doesn't mean that it's okay with what the person did. It means that, you know what, I'm freeing you, I'm releasing you. I'm not going to carry that baggage of hostility and bitterness and grudges that often comes with that, and therefore you're able to grow. So we've talked about a lot of different subjects when it comes to narcissism. However, as all good things must come to an end. Yes, it must come to an end. And if you notice, I haven't been doing as many podcasts as I was doing, and I'm being led to go in a different direction now. This is not to say that I would never do a podcast for narcissistic abuse every now and then, which may be very rare in between. But this for us on the regular is not going to be as often as I have been doing it. Basically, I'm bringing this to an end. I'm going to be continuing in the It Is Finished because we have a lot of ministry work that we're doing. And I'm going to be, instead of the narcissistic abuse, my Veterans in Christ. If many of you remember, I told you that I was going to be doing a podcast called Veterans in Christ, and I haven't really launched that as I had planned because I had still been doing a lot of work with the narcissistic abuse. So now it's not going to be the narcissistic abuse, it's going to be the podcast of Veterans in Christ, Veterans in Christ. So therefore, I just want to let you all know that this is coming to an end. It's been a 7-year ride, and I have been blessed of just even being a host with you all because as I've been teaching you, it also has helped me with expanding my knowledge, my learning, and being able to even counsel more effectively. And I pray that as you continue on this journey, I pray that you will allow God to help you in all relationships in your life. You know, the Bible lets us know that how can two walk together unless they have agreed to do so. And so therefore make sure that whatever relationships you're in, that they are first ordained by God and that you are able to walk in agreement with the individual that you are with. And when that is not happening, then you might have to change course, whether that's getting counseling, whether that's doing some self-evaluation, whether it is even saying, you know what, I might need to take a break and love this person from a distance, or sometimes you have to totally say goodbye. I've heard this pastor say that he has the gift of goodbye, and sometimes you do have to have that gift of saying goodbye. And speaking of goodbye, this is not a total goodbye because, like I said, maybe every blue moon you may hear me pop up on narcissistic abuse, but we're changing changing lanes, and we're going to be, I'm going to be doing a lot more with the Veterans in Christ. So if you are a veteran, if you are in active duty military, and you want to hear the podcast that I'm going to be starting up, I believe that's going to be in October. I'm going to be starting that back up in October. Then join us for our Veterans in Christ. And yes, you will be able to catch that podcast on various platforms, just as you do this one. All right. We are up out of here. This is not goodbye. This is just saying, hey, until next time. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. This is Dr. K.L. Rich.